Hey guys, this is Brian behind the camera.
And Alexandra.
What episode are we on, darling?
We're on 11. There's somebody coming.
Someone coming. We're on a hike. Someone's coming. So we're on a hike right now. We're just chatting about different things, and specifically, what do we want to talk about today? It's Sunday for us. We just went to the farmer's market, and here we are. So what do we want to talk about today?
So I know a lot of people have questions on money and purpose and how to live your dharma and live your bliss and all of that goodness. So we've been hiking for like 45 minutes now, just chatting about that. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Awesome. You want to... I don't see anyone coming.
I know, but I heard somebody coming.
All right, well, it's just the two of us. So how do you want to kick it off?
I'll let you kick it off.
I'm not sure how I want to kick it off. So I did a call yesterday with a guy named Aaron Ross, who's running a course on helping people discover their purpose and get paid to do what they love to do. We were just talking about how have I found my purpose, what do I do to stay on purpose, and things like that. And then a lot of people have asked us to talk about money, and we're going to be packing up our statues today. We're moving some stuff into storage before we head to Bali. I've got two statues. This is kind of the jumping off point to our conversation today. Two statues that I particularly love of Saraswati and Lakshmi, two Hindu goddesses, right? And Deepak Chopra has a great story in his book. I think it's Creating Affluence. Awesome little book, A to Z on creating affluence. And he tells this story that if you want to create wealth in your life, there are two goddesses you need to pay attention to, Lakshmi and Saraswati. Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge, and Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. Most people, when they want to create wealth in their lives, they go straight after. We've got people coming. They go straight after Lakshmi. They chase Lakshmi. They want to find all the ways to make money. They want to find the next big thing. They want to spend all their energy in marketing, all of this stuff. And what Deepak says is, none of that doesn't work. If you chase Lakshmi, if you chase wealth, she runs away from you. You never actually really get that relationship. And he says, if you want Lakshmi...
Hello, sorry.
Hi, guys.
Do you want to take your picture together?
No, we're good. We're kind of doing a little filming here.
I'm sorry.
No,
perfect.
We're rocking. This is going to work out great. Thank you.
And we have beautiful goddesses in the shot.
Yes, perfect. Lakshmi and Saraswati, thank you. Welcome to Ojai, where people are friendly and the skies are blue. So, so Lakshmi and Saraswati, most people chase Lakshmi, and Lakshmi kind of runs away, right? Or if you get her, you don't really have a great relationship, right? Deepak says you got to go after Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, self-knowledge, knowledge about life, wisdom. If you chase knowledge and you really become a better human being, more self-aware, more pure, Lakshmi is a jealous goddess, and she'll chase after you. Wealth will chase after you, precisely because you stop chasing it. So it's become a theme of our lives, is really letting the wealth be a byproduct of our creativity, be a byproduct of us becoming better and better human beings, which is why we prioritize things like our meditation, our exercise, our nutrition, being in integrity, and really communicating authentically, and creating a business where it's not about short-term results, it's about creating something we're really proud of, and allowing those results to take care of themselves. So we just had a high traffic zone on the hike, so we're back.
Lots of people. So anyways, yes, I always love that story about the two goddesses. And one of the ways that we have gone through this is, and it's been a process over the last 3.5 years for both of us, and over a decade for us individually, but just really simplifying our lives and figuring out what's most important for us. And for me, like, there was a time before I met Brian of I just wanted to read, and I wanted to study, and I wanted to train, and I wanted to eat yummy food and just like live my goddess life. And I was doing that, and it was amazing, and I worked and I did massage therapy to kind of pay the bills and do that, and I had my own little massage office and all of this awesome things and training people, and it was literally what I loved to do. But what happened was I felt insecure of I didn't have enough. I didn't have a new car, I didn't have the latest phone, I didn't have a house, and all of these different things. So I felt there was like a tug of war of like, oh, I'm totally living what I love, I'm really passionate about this, yet I'm not good enough. So there was an insecurity and just like bouncing back and forth of going to expensive workshops and then like, oh, I can't pay for it, and just this dance, and then going to a workshop and telling them, put it on your credit card and everything will be fine. But I didn't want to have to work so that I go to workshops. I didn't want to have to work for my things. So that's been a big practice for me of just like, what am I passionate about? And it's pretty simple. I want good food. I want to have amazing workouts. I want to have time to go on hikes and do things that I love. And I'm not willing to do things that I don't love to do for money in order to pay for the latest, greatest toys.
Yep.
So I have like an old school phone. I mean, I had like a computer that was how old? My little laptop.
We jokingly call Alexander's phone, we'll go over here. We call Alexander's phone the shoe. She's got a BlackBerry that I used like from 2002 or something like that, maybe 2004. It's pretty funny, but that idea of we don't need to have the newest things. Like, we're looking at it and saying what we really want, and money is important, but too often we're spending all of our energy getting the next thing that's going to impress people, right? And having a fast car and a big house and all the debt to support that lifestyle. And for us, it's become a process of really simplifying and getting out of that mode. And you know, the phone works, it's fine. We don't need to get the newest, latest, greatest phone. Yeah, your computer was, I don't know how old. It's awesome. We just got a new computer. So we invest in things that really support our own actualization. That's our standard. Our deepest value is becoming our highest selves, plugging into the divine within us. I mean, this is in Theos, right? What can we do so we're in integrity, so everything we do is to support us in essentially plugging into and shining, right, and having an awesome life. We have the freedom to spend time with one another and do what we want, when we want, where we want, with whom we want. Like, that's really what we've been working toward, and we've made some sacrifices. Alexandra had her story about her massage therapist. When I was, you know, I built and sold a couple of businesses, but I didn't sell them at the ideal time, and I kind of got to the point where it just wasn't what I was here to do. I had dropped out of law school before, that wasn't my thing, and there's just been this process of really getting in touch with what do I really want to do. And Deepak says, if you had all the time and all the money in the world, what would you do? If you had all the time and all the money in the world, what would you do? And he says, if you really meditate on that question, and you get through the traveling, you travel around the world, and you'd buy some houses for your friends and family, okay, cool, that's nice. But then what would you do? What would you create? What would you give to the world? What would you offer to the world, and to your family, and to your community, etc.? He says if you do that, if you actually meditate on that, and you actually put your energy into that, all the money, more money than you could imagine would come your way. Now, we're not quite experts on that yet, because we're still really getting into the flow. We're seeing some signs that that's true over the last few years as we really the last dozen years, but really as we fully engage in that type of living, we're seeing some evidence, but it's going to be fun to have this conversation in 10 years, right? And that's kind of our attitude, is we're willing to put in the time. And Joseph Campbell, I shared this in the interview I did yesterday. Joseph Campbell, one of my favorite ideas, he says kids used to come to him, boys that he taught at a boys' school, and they'd say, do you think I can be a writer? Do you think I can make it as a writer? And he'd say, well, it depends. Do you think that your first book needs to be a best-selling, smashing success? Right? Otherwise, you're a failure. If that's what you think, then you're in trouble. But if you're willing to put in 10 years of anonymous hard work because you love it and because you believe in it and because you're willing to invest the energy, if you're willing to put in that much effort, then you have a shot. You're not guaranteed, but you have a shot. That whole idea of being willing to put in the energy, being willing to put in the effort over the long run, not looking for the immediate return, and you're going to give up if it doesn't show immediate signs of being extraordinary. But if you're willing to put in those 10,000 hours, that 10 years of effort, then extraordinary things can happen. So we're about, 2.5, 3 years, we joke, into it, and we want to see where we're at in 7 years, and it's really an experiment for us. And in the meantime, we're simplifying our life. She's got her shoe phone and, the old computer, which just got upgraded.
My clothes that I'm wearing now that are like 3.5 years old.
You haven't noticed, I wear the same clothes all the time. I got a few pairs of shorts, a few t-shirts, and that's it. I don't care. It's the benefit of being a philosopher. You get to wear whatever you want. But, we've got one car, we've got our Prius, and we're moving to Bali and to Ecuador in part because we want to save a lot of money. We spend a lot of money to live here in Southern California, and we looked at it and said, you know what, we'd like to simplify. We're going to go back to Bali. We're going to spend, a small amount of money to live in an awesome place and to have full-time staff. We're not going to need to cook or clean. It's awesome stuff. Ecuador, same opportunity, and we can really go deep into our meditation practice and all the other things that we're passionate about, reading, writing, sharing these ideas. So that's cool. Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week, the idea that reality is negotiable. We have this idea that we have to do this, this, and this. Says who? Challenge your reality and look at it and see, are you really living in integrity with your deepest values? Is it really that important for you to have a new car every other year? Well, cool. Then you're going to sacrifice some things potentially on the other side of the equation. So it's really just getting clear on what you really want and then living in integrity with that, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think everybody is different. Figure out what it is for you. I mean, for us, like, meditation gets us giddy, organic food gets us giddy, like having the freedom to work out, like reading books, all of these things make us really, really happy. So figuring out what your happy is, in my goddess program I call them happies, so things that make you really, really happy, and then aligning your life so that your life is surrounded with all those things that make you happy.
Awesome. I have no idea where we are on time, but I think we're running out, so we should probably say goodbye.
Okay, have an awesome day.
See you tomorrow.